Traders, welcome to the new weekly forecast for the trading week beginning on 9th of September. I usually record my videos over the weekend, and due to my tight schedule, I could not record on Saturday or Sunday. So that's the reason I'm doing it on Monday today. Now, in the previous week, we had NFP announcement from the US, and the numbers were not promising. So they got only 142,000 new jobs in expectation to 164,000. Any which ways, dollar index was supposed to take support around 100 mark, and as anticipated it bounced from 100.5. Now in the coming week, in the current week, we have important announcements related to CPI, that's inflation data from the US, and the most important announcement is related to European Central Bank. So we are expecting a rate cut of 0.6% from the European Central Bank. Now we have some interesting setups to trade in the current week, especially in the commodities like oil and cross-currency pairs like euro versus New Zealand dollar or euro versus AUD dollar. So without wasting much time, let's dive directly to the chart. So let's begin our chart analysis, and the first instrument I'm going to take is dollar index. Now I'll start from monthly this time. I'm going to clean my chart here. I'll turn it into a line chart. Now on the basis of monthly time frame, if you notice, we had some support at the current price level. So I'm going to mark a horizontal line over there. Here. So this was exactly at 100.85 on dollar index. Now I'm turning my chart into weekly. Now let's analyze the weekly chart pattern. So here we have high followed by lower high, then we got lower high, then we got lower high, then we got higher high formation followed by lower high. So I'm going to plot fib extension starting from the highest point, that's here, the top. So I'm going to label it as A, and the lowest point is to be labeled as B, and the lower high is to be labeled as C here. So I'm going to plot fib extension in the downward direction, that's ABC pattern here. Give me a second. Applying fib extension starting from A to B and then moving from B to C. So I'm expecting dollar index to finally touch 98. So that is going to be fib extension 61.8. And if it continues further, it can even go to 92.77. But until it breaches 98, let's not talk about 92.77. Now I'm moving to daily chart. Now on the daily, again, I'm going to mark the highs and lows. So starting from the highest point, then we have next turning point, lower high, then we got another turning point, lower high, then lower high, and that's it. Marking the lows here. So we got turning point low here, then we got next turning point low here, next lower low formation, and the last one. So I'm going to compare the turning lows here. And we got some divergence here. So bullish divergence come into play, which means the sellers are exhausted. Dollar index reaching a crucial support point of 100.85. So that's the reason I'm expecting short-term bounce in the dollar index. Now here I'm going to apply fib retracement from the previous turning point, that's here. So this is going to be my point A, and let's label it. So here we have A and the lowest point to be termed as B. I'm going to plot fib retracement from A to B now. So we can expect at least 50% correction. So I'm expecting dollar index to rise and reach around 102.39 or 102.40. There is an opportunity to apply fib extension in the upward direction as well, which is going to give us some magnet zones. So starting from the lowest point, connecting to the first high, and then the higher low. So we got two magnets here. So first one at Fib retracement 38.2, that's 101.93, followed by 102.39 or 102.40. So there is a very high probability that in the coming days, dollar keeps rising and dollar index can go back until 102.40. So dollar short-term bullish. Ultimately, I'm expecting a bearish reversal around 102.40. Moving to 4H, same story here. So we got higher lows pattern here. So this is the lowest point, and we also have bullish divergence between the last two lows. Then here, and we got the higher lows. Then we got the first move up, retracement, and now it's marching up again. So dollar index again, short-term bullish plan. Ultimately, I'm expecting it to bounce lower from 102.40. Now the next instrument I'm going to talk about is Australian dollar versus New Zealand dollar. Now marking the structure here on the weekly frame, we got low here, then we got a high and higher high. Here we got some divergence based on histogram, but on the basis of MACD lines, there is no bearish divergence, which means a short-term pullback was anticipated, which is already done, and a resumption of bullish trend from this level. I'm going to apply Fib retracement here from lowest to highest, and we got the retracement and moving to daily now. Now if you notice the structure here, we got high followed by turning point lower high, then we have lower high and lower high in conjunction with low, then this is your turning point low and the new turning point low. So we have bullish divergence. I'm marking bullish divergence here on histogram. So I can expect bullish behavior, Australian dollar versus New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar comparatively stronger than New Zealand dollar. And now I'm moving to the next lower time frame, that is 4H. Now again we have bullish divergence on the 4-hourly frame, but the BOS is pending. And now I'm moving to 1-hourly frame, and on 1-hourly frame I can see the buyers are back because the pattern is low followed by higher low, and higher low in conjunction with high, higher high, higher high, and higher high, and no signs against, no bearish divergence. This high is already breached, so buyers have full control of Australian dollar versus New Zealand dollar. If you are going to buy at the current market price, then you can easily target the Fib retracement levels here. So this is the golden level, 1.0893, then the next one should be 1.0936. And I can go back to daily here. Now on the basis of daily, I'm going to apply Fib extension, starting from this low, connecting to the high and the higher low, the recent one formed. And if you notice, the magnet is formed around this area. So buyers entered into the market. You can look for a buying opportunity with the stop loss below 100% mark, and your first target should be 1.1047, followed by previous high, that is 1.1119, and ultimately you can expect it to reach 1.1206. So bullish plan for AUD New Zealand. The next instrument I'm going to talk about is Euro versus Australian dollar. Now this time I'm going to 3-monthly chart just to understand the long-term pattern here. Now on the basis of 3-monthly chart, if you notice, we got a sequence of low. This is turning point higher low. This is again turning point higher low. So I'm going to apply Fib extension from this turning point to high and the higher low, sorry. So I need Fib extension to be plotted starting from this low, connecting to the high and the next higher low. So ultimately the target is 1.7262, which is derived from 3 monthly chart. The current price level is 1.6590. So there is ample room for the buyers to move until 1.7262. Now I'm moving to 1 month chart. On the basis of 1 monthly frame, again we got bullish structure. So we have low, higher low, then we got lower lows here, but after that we got another higher low. So the buyers, they came back from this area. So this becomes your turning point, the latest one. So I'm going to mark here on the monthly frame the latest turning point, and I'm going to, it has to be green because it's bullish. Okay, now I'm going to weekly chart. Now on the basis of weekly chart, this is my starting point, and we got bullish divergence. 1 minute. Yeah, so here we got bullish divergence, we got the break of structure, and after break of structure we got the required pullback, and now again the buyers have taken the control of this instrument. I'm going to daily now, and on daily, first of all we'll apply Fib retracement. And we got retracement between 61 to 80% levels, and after that I'm going to apply Fib extension. So starting from the lowest, moving to highest, and connecting with the latest higher low. So on the basis of daily frame, the next target is 1.6790. Currently we are at 1.6589. On the basis of long-term chart, that is 3 monthly chart, I'm expecting 1.7260. Now let's move to 4-hourly chart. Now on 4-hourly chart, I can see we have low, higher low. This is turning point, higher low. Then we have higher low and higher low in conjunction with high and higher high. But the recent two highs, I can see some weakness there only on histogram. So we can expect some short-term pullback and then continuation higher. So Euro Aussie, we should plan for buying on the dips. Moving to 1H, again on 1-hourly frame, between the last two highs, I do not see any bearish divergence. So there could be some short-term pullback. And continuation higher. I'm going to plot a rising trend line on the 4-hourly frame now. Yeah, so here I can apply a rising trend line. So this rising trend line should be taken as invalidation. So in case if sellers, they will take the price lower than this rising trend line, then the bullish plan should be invalidated. Otherwise, any dip towards the rising trend line should be taken as an opportunity to buy the currency pair Euro versus Australian dollar. And the next currency pair I'm going to talk about is pound versus US dollar. Now here I'm going to daily chart. And here the structure I'm going to explain is very simple. So we got low, higher low, turning point higher low, new turning point higher low. We got highs and higher highs, and these two are the turning point higher highs. And when I'm comparing the latest two highs, there is no divergence on MACD lines. Even there is no divergence on MACD histogram, which means the buyers are in full control. Now we are expecting some short-term pullback here. So I'm going to apply Fib retracement on the latest higher low formed with the high formed. So here I'm going to drag Fib retracement from this low to the recent high, and we can expect some short-term pullback here, only short-term towards 50% or maybe 61, or it can go as deep as towards 80%, and then continuation in the upward direction, because dollar index is expected to be bullish in the short run. So that will bring some weakness in the major currency pairs. So now I'm going to 4-hourly chart. On 4-hourly chart, the pattern is bearish. I can start from the highest point. So we got high, and a sequence of lower highs here. Then we got some correction. This becomes your next turning point lower high. So I can apply fib extension in the downward direction because we have highest point. We got the formation of A to B and B to C. Now the first magnet zone is formed around this area. So 1.3051 is the first bearish target. Then the next magnet zone is around 1.2953, and if the sellers continue, then you may get up to 1.2892 or 1.2900. So any plan for the short term should be bearish, and ultimately when it reaches around 1.3051 or 1.2892, you should validate the setup for long-term buying. In the short run, pound dollar is bearish. Now the next instrument I'm going to talk about is crude oil, and again I'm going to long-term chart here. That's 3 monthly chart. Now here on the basis of 3 monthly chart, sorry, not 3 monthly, monthly chart, my mistake here. So here I'm going on monthly chart. On the basis of monthly chart, we got high, then we got a turning point lower high, and we got a low here. So I'm going to plot fib extension in the downward direction, connecting the highest point A to B and B to C. Now, on the basis of fib extension in the downward direction on monthly time frame, I'm just going to fine tune the levels one more time. Give me a second here. Let's start from the highest point. So here I can see that the next extension target is 61.8, which is the price level of 61.45. Now we can move to weekly. Now on the basis of weekly frame, again we've got high, turning point lower high and lower high. So I can use multiple fib extensions in the downward direction here. I've applied on the monthly frame, which is starting from this high, low and lower high. Now I'm going to plot on the next one, next fib extension in the downward direction. So this is going to give me the magnet zones. So plotted one more time. We need to change the color here. Let's make it red. So the next target is $67, which is not yet done. It price went really close to 67, but it never touched. And after 67, on the basis of monthly frame, we can expect 61.45. I do not see any signs against, no bullish divergence, MACD histogram showing bearish momentum on the charts. So everything looks good for sellers here. There is one more probability, there is one more opportunity to apply fib extension third time here. So plotting one more time. Okay, so I can see that a new magnet is formed, which is between 66.33 to 67, and the next magnet is formed between 61.45 to 62.27. So once we break below 66.33, the next ultimate target for crude oil should be 61.45 to 62.27. For now, we are looking at 66.33. We are done with the weekly chart. Now let's move to daily chart. Now even on daily frame, I can see the pattern is ultra bearish. We've got high, lower high, lower high, lower high. This becomes your turning point, lower high. Then again we've got turning point, lower highs in conjunction with lows and lower lows, and the bullish divergence is not yet done. So we can expect some bullish divergence to come into play, but it is anticipated and it is not yet done. If buyers come back in the market, I'm expecting massive resistance around 72.90 to 74.32, and this should be the zone for sellers to take over. Any short-term bounce should be taken as an opportunity to sell. Now here on 4-hourly chart, again the pattern looks ultra bearish. lower highs and lower lows all around with no signs of buyers. So no bullish divergence has been formed. Even the buyers are not forming the pattern of higher highs or higher lows. So sellers, they remain in control on 4-hourly chart. Now I'm going to 1H. Even on 1-hourly chart, no signs of buyers taking over. So we have continuation of lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and lower highs. So immediately the first target is around 67. If you want to play in the short term, then you should have your stop loss above 71 mark. I know the risk and reward is not amazing on the short term, so we'll wait for the bounce after reaching 67 so that we can sell at a better price, maybe somewhere around 71 to 72 or 72.90, and then look for selling. And finally, I'm going to gold. Now on the basis of higher time frame, again I'm talking of monthly chart here. So I've done my fib extension of the first ABC pattern on the monthly chart, and I've found that gold reached exactly on fib extension 500, that is 2482. In fact, it crossed 2482 and right now we are getting support at 2482. Moving down to daily now. Now I've also applied one more fib extension on the latest daily and 4-hourly chart. So it forms a magnet around 2482 to 2485. So currently 2482 to 2485 is serving as magnetic support zone. If 2482 or 2485 is breached, then the next level to look for is 2442. And moving to 4-hourly chart, I can see the market is sideways for gold. So here the sellers, they've been trying hard to take the price below 2482, but they have not yet succeeded. Every time gold goes to 2482 or 2480, there was just a dip here, but market never closed below 2482 and gold bounces again. So the movement looks sideways here. If 2482 is breached, then I'll be looking for 2442 in the short run, because only in the short run dollar remains bullish. But ultimately I'm looking for the higher targets, that's 2570 to 2580, which I've already explained multiple times in my previous weekly videos. Now in the short run, again let's move to 1-hourly chart. Now on the 1-hourly frame, I can see that we have lower high formation. So 2500 now becomes a massive resistance here, and 2482 becomes massive support. But the pattern looks bearish on 1-hourly frame. No higher highs, no higher lows being formed. Let's move to 15 minutes. Even on 15 minutes, I do not see any signs of buyers, although we got double bottom here around 2482. But it seems that the buyers have failed to create a higher high. So in case we get a close above 2500, then I'll look for 2507 followed by 2515, and ultimately 2524 is the resistance. Short term plan is to sell. The next target could be 2442. So this is my weekly trading plan. I hope it adds some value to your trading plan as well. And stay profitable and show your support. Give a thumbs up to my weekly video. Take care. Bye-bye.